Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coach John Runs His Cake Hole. I am your friendly neighborhood youth coach, Coach John, and as always, thanks for stopping by. It's been a crazy week here for me in Hampton Roads, Virginia, coming down to the end of summer school, basketball season's ending. It's fun watching the kids grow in both aspects, but do me a favor, next summer, if I start talking about teaching summer school, somebody please refer me for a CAT scan, because there will clearly be something wrong with me if I decide to do that again. Got a good show coming up. WNBA All-Star Weekend happened, and there are some interesting developments. One of the shirts was a shirt that said, pay us more, essentially. They're wanting more money. And that's something I can get behind. And they are plugging the fact that they're starting to draw more revenue. And speaking of plugs, let's get through a few shameless plugs here prior to getting started. If you have not found, liked, and or followed us on Facebook or Instagram, please consider doing so. Just like last week and the week before, you can find us on Facebook at The Sports Reclamation Project, on Instagram at _Sports Reclamation Project. If you'd like to see what we're doing on the World Wide Web, check out our internet site at www.sportsreclamationproject.com. If you like what you see there, feel free to stop by that shop on sportsreclamationproject.com and pick you up some merchandise. Like I say each week, the money spent on merchandise does not go into my pocket, does not go back into the Sports Reclamation Project coffers. It goes to giving scholarships and meeting the needs of recreational youth athletes. I don't get into this much, but as a lot of you know, the lower middle class and less fortunate families are being priced out of youth sports. A ball in those hands keeps the hands out of trouble. I'm a firm believer in that. And it's our goal at the Sports Reclamation Project to give them something to do to keep them off the streets and out of trouble. I would also be amiss if I did not mention TrueVictory.com. It's a streetwear brand founded by U.S. military veterans and first responders. It is dedicated to building everyday champions on and off the field. Use the promo code RECLAMATION for 15% off your purchase. Now, before we get into our topic, which is why we need girls' sports leagues, local girls' recreational leagues, allow me to apologize in advance if I come across a little sarcastic or more than usual in my tone. Part of it is due to just fatigue from summer school, and the other reason is due to the fatigue that I'm tired of the lip service from people who can't fix this shortcoming with girls' sports, and are just refusing to do so. Last year in 2024, I, along with 18.7 million other viewers, watched Caitlin Clark's final game in the NCAA Final Four, the national championship against South Carolina. Of course, Caitlin was defeated, but you cannot help but now acknowledge she had an incomparable career in college. She ended with the women's scoring record. I watched that. A lot of people followed that, and she really brought women's basketball to light. The WNBA has been around since 1997, but just recently in the past couple years with Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, these ladies coming up, it's beginning to get more attention. Now, if we're going to make a fair comparison to that event and how transcendent it was, I think a fair comparison would be the 1979 NCAA Final, where Magic Johnson and Larry Bird with Michigan State and Indiana State faced off. Highest rated national title game to date. And it's difficult to scroll social media and not see influential people in sports at the international and national levels talking about what Caitlin Clark has done for women's basketball as a whole, and what Angel Reese and what Asia Wilson has done, and what Paige Buchers is doing as a rookie. And the trickle-down effect in sports popularity is there, if we're willing to look. Another one I can compare what's going on to the last couple years is the 97 Masters victory of Tiger Woods. Caitlin Clark her run through Iowa and as she came into the WNBA. Similar to that, people are watching, different people are watching, different eyes are on the game. And while it's undeniable the last couple of years of women's basketball have brought a lot of attention to the sport of women's basketball, it's also drew interest from young girls all over the world who dream of being the next Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese or Juju Watkins. And I'm also aware that everybody, including myself, have noticed that the youth sports world, there's an influx of girls wanting to play basketball in the upcoming years. My team alone of 14 kids has 4 girls. Used to be you get 1 or 2 every other team. Now every team has groups of girls, which leads me to my point. We need local girls' youth sports leagues. For young girls, it's either play with the boys in rec or travel. Now, before you bring out the pitchforks, I do believe young girls can and often are on greater footing at a younger age than boys. My toughest opponent and the best athlete in the family was not me. It was my older sister, Becca, who stands about 5'2" and was literally the toughest athlete I ever played against growing up. She was a bulldog. But we're missing a simple and obvious hole in youth sports. Many young ladies don't want to play with the boys, which leads me to ask, in the $37 billion with a B, youth sports market, you're telling me there's no room for girls-only sports leagues? I don't believe it. Girls-only recreational sports leagues have a spot in the youth sports market. Now, I support and I'm a firm believer of inclusivity. Can you play is my only question when people come up to me. I don't care your gender, your race, your religion, whatever. Can you play is what most good coaches want to know. However, one should also look at the comfort level a new or developing athlete within a sports environment needs to grow and mature in the game and continue playing. Unfortunately, in many cases, those with the ability to create and promote these leagues on a recreational level are too focused on the bottom line and too afraid to be different. They just don't want to rattle the cage. They just don't want to upset the status quo. Meanwhile, they're dealing with the fear of many young girls by putting them to the wayside. A lot of young girls don't want to play with the boys, or they put them on boys' teams with coaches who do not know how, or simply refuse to play or adjust their coaching style for young lady athletes. I'm going to give you a hint. All you coaches, take notes for how to coach girls in basketball, which is my background. It's no different. The fundamentals are the same. The form is the same. And if you're behaving properly, your coaching style should be fine too. So why don't they exist? Somebody told me it was a numbers game in which they may not have enough teams. Here's a hint. You need 2. You need 2 teams. Is it a lack of coaching issue? Well, again, that's another easy fix if league heads are willing to do the legwork. You can either A, utilize the same methods employed to make sure boys teams within the league have coaches, or provide training to create more coaches. It's not splitting atoms. The answers are there and it's simple. Better yet, how about involving your community and reaching out to local high school girls programs? Offer community service hours to these high school girls or the members of the girls team who would like to coach. Coaching is one of the best ways to improve on your on-court game as well. Reach out, make connections. There are answers if you're willing to look. Start small. It doesn't have to be a 20-team league. Start small. Focus on the development of players, culture, a league, and be patient. Don't tell me it cannot be done. Because when you tell me something like this cannot be done, what you're really saying to me is it cannot be done easily. Easy never works when you're trying to do something right and effective. So let's eliminate easy and focus on right. It is not right that within the amount of money spent annually on youth sports in this country, girls-only recreational leagues for sports such as basketball, soccer, and baseball, girls want to play baseball too, flag football, are so few and far between, and when there is money allocated is seemingly minuscule, compared to what boys' programs are offered. I know the initial steps aren't easy, but let's put it like this. Let's go back to Caitlin Clark. The first time she stepped on the court as a child in Iowa, she wasn't shooting from the logo. We've seen the videos of her rec league games that her dad has shared on social media. And like most boys and girls, she probably could not get the ball up to the rim. However, with hard work, failure, and dedication, she scored 3,951 points before leaving college a legend. It took work to build something great. And there's potential for greatness in girls' youth sports. It's been out there. There's role models. There's faces of girls' basketball and other girls' sports. Asia Wilson, I bring up. Paige Buchers. Juju Watkins when she gets better. Aaliyah Boston. There are role models for girls' basketball. There are role models for girls' soccer. There are role models out there to look forward and build these leagues to. And there is potential for great girls-only youth sports and recreational leagues if we're willing to put in the work. That's about enough of that. Folks, I said I was in a mood and I could keep going about how we need to build this. It's like that movie from the line from the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Let's start building for our ladies in sports. They're not a secondary option. They're not an afterthought. They're our children, our future wives, our future community leaders, future mothers. They're our daughters. They're our sisters. Let's give to the girls in youth sports as much as we give to the boys. And now, finally, that's enough of that. The page is growing quickly. I'm really excited. I'm shooting for 1,000 followers on my social media page. When we do that, I'm going to do a giveaway from my website, probably a t-shirt or a hoodie. I haven't decided yet, but let's get to 1,000. Challenge for my listeners out there. Like, share, tag a post, share it with a friend. Tell somebody about this. If you want to come on this podcast and talk to me about stuff, argue with me about stuff respectfully, plug a book, plug a blog, whatever you're working on. You can find me on the Facebook page at The Sports Reclamation Project. You can find me on Instagram at _Sports Reclamation Project. Or you can email me at john@thesportsreclamationproject.com. Other than that, I hate to say that's it, that's all, but I hope you've had a ball. If you are going to a game today, please be kind to the referees. Thank your child's coach. And as always, tell your kid you love watching them play. This is John with the Sports Reclamation Project, and we will talk again later.